Good day. My name is Lacey. Well, that's my online nickname because I'm an online poker player. So most of my friends call me Lacey. Um, I am on Twitter as Lacey Pearls, and I also have another name. Let me see. I'll add it to the top when I finish the video. I have more than one account. I also am the owner and the founder of BWWBC. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's Black Women with Biracial Children. I started it before my daughter was born, and she's now 16 years old. So you can look that up. BW Black Women with Biracial Children. BWWBC. .com. I just want to introduce to you myself. I am 41 years old. I'll be 42 in December, and I normally do a natural hair video, but I decided after seeing my doctor a few months ago, I'm having more health problems, and I have to start taking better care of myself and my heart. Um, So I think what I'm going to do is change my channel a little bit. I guess I want to discuss on this channel not only natural hair because it's so important to me, and my hair is still 100% natural. I've been natural for 2 years. After transitioning for 1 year, I cut all the relaxer out my hair in 2000 June of 2009, and my second year anniversary was June of, I mean, 2009. No, I didn't cut out 2009. It was 2010. I started transitioning in 2009. Then in 2010 is when I cut the relaxer out. June of 2010. Excuse me. I don't have much time, but um, now what I don't know if I need to cut this or chop it up and try to figure out how to put it into a new video. I'm not very video swabby, but I'm in Malaysia right now, in Asia, with my husband. I have 2 weeks left to be here with him. I've been here for about 2 weeks. Things are going good. I just haven't been feeling well because, like I said, I have several chronic illness. I have rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, asthma, iritis, which is the inflammation of the irises, and I also have IBS, which has been bothering me a lot since I've been here because the food's too spicy and they put hot pepper in everything. I can't eat a lot of food. Like I can't digest beef and some other foods. It just doesn't. I love to eat it. Like I can eat spicy. I was raised on spicy hot food. So I mean I can eat it. It's not the heat that bothers me. It's the reaction of what my body does after eating it. I get nauseous. I get cramps in my stomach and I throw up. I mean I know you don't want to hear this, but that's just the way it is. um, I just want people to know that if you have a chronic illness, you can continue to live with it because there was a time where I couldn't walk, I couldn't get out my bed, I couldn't do anything. My second husband, I'm married for the third time. He had a nurse that had to come in, and he had a housekeeper that had to come in to help me because I mean I went to work one day, and then the following day I woke up and I couldn't move. I couldn't move my legs. I could barely move my hands and my arms. And I didn't know what was going on because my lifestyle, I never smoked. I never really drank during that time. I didn't drink at all. And I didn't do any kind of drugs. I was always pretty much, my thing was working and business, because I had my own business at the time, which I had to give up after being sick for a while. Um, it was hard. It was hard on my marriage. It was hard trying to raise my daughter because I was in so much pain. My daughter couldn't even touch me. Like, she was a toddler at the time, and she couldn't even run over. One time she ran over to me just to give me a hug, and I collapsed in pain, crying. That's how bad it was. Like, I fell to the floor and crying, and it scared her. I mean, she was like, what, maybe about 1.5 years old. It terrorized her. So during most of her toddler age, I couldn't even really hug my daughter or touch my daughter or put her on my lap. It was really hard. It was really just, I would sometimes sit down in a corner and cry in pain. Even asking God just let me go. I can't deal with this pain anymore. But now God has given me a little bit more peace. I mean, I still am in pain, but I'm thankful. You know why? Because I can get out of my bed every morning. I can walk. I can hug my daughter. Sorry. I can do all the things that I couldn't do. She's 16 now. But it took a long time with me. Now she takes care of her mom when her mom's sick. She helps a lot. Both of my children do. I got a 21-year-old son. He's the same way. If all I have to do is call. If I call, he's right there to take care of me. I've been really blessed. Really, really blessed. I remember when I went to my doctor and I asked him, I said, I can barely move and can barely walk. It's so hard. I was so swollen because I was taking all these steroids every day, like 35 milligrams of steroids on a daily basis for 2 years. I went up to 300 pounds. Well, the side effects was just so bad, and I just at one point I just said I can't do this anymore. I went, you know how you're supposed to wean off of those things? I did not wean. I just threw them all down the toilet, flushed it, and told the doctor I'm not taking these anymore because my teeth started to crumble. My bones started getting soft, and then I was like huge. Like, I have a picture of it. I have to somehow figure out how to put it on the end of this video or maybe on another video. But I was up to 300 pounds and I was so fat. My face was so swollen. My neck was like, as I swear, almost as big as my shoulders across. It was crazy. But my doctor wouldn't let me give up. My doctor told me, no, I'm not going to give you one of those, those little machines where you sit down and you move around. Because when I went to the grocery store, I did have to sit into those seats for the disabled to get around at that time. Because that's the only way I could get around. And of course, I had handicap plates on my car and everything. But later, like now, I can't really drive that well. So I don't really drive unless I have to, and I can't drive far because I get pains shooting up and down my legs. But the thing is, I respect my doctor because if he would have gave me that little machine to ride around, I might have given up and went downhill. But it forced me to have to fight, to want to live, to want to try to do what I have to do to make myself better, or live better, or at least comfortable enough where I can go on. And people look at me and they're like, there ain't nothing wrong with you, just because to them I look fine. even now I'm in pain. I'm always in pain. And you guys that have chronic illnesses, you know that when we say we're feeling okay, it just means that level of pain is not as high, but we're always in some kind of pain. Um, I just, you know, sometimes I get like upset because people will say, "Oh, you're not sick. There's nothing wrong with you." This, that, and the other. I know I'm sick. Every time I go to the doctor, they give me a new diagnosis. It's crazy. It's like I don't even want to go to the doctor because every time I go, they give me something else is wrong with me. They're still trying to take my gallbladder out. They you know, they're telling me that my irritable bowel syndrome. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I have that too, and I can't control that. That just has a mind of its own. And I get so sick that I can barely eat. All I can do is drink water, and I'm still sick. And I get it where it cramps up in my stomach, and my stomach cramps in turn. Because when it first started happening, I actually thought maybe I was pregnant, and there was a baby in there because it felt like there was a baby flipping around in my belly. But it wasn't that. They did one of those colon. The first they at the same time they did the colonoscopy and the endo whatever it's called, endoscopy or whatever it's called. They did them on the same day, and that's when they were like, "Well, you got this and you got that, and, blah, 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 and this is going on." I got other stuff going on in my stomach that they couldn't even explain. Like they said there was yeast growing in my stomach lining. Then they said that I had gallstones, and then they were saying that I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I mean, I'm 42. You look at me. Most people don't think I'm that age, but when I'm feeling okay, my face, I look pretty young. But when I'm sick, you look at my face, I look like I'm like 70 years old because every like when I'm really really sick and I'm really at my worst, my body all gets so drained. It gets all taken away from me. I'm hoping that I can change this channel. I'm going to be talking more about chronic illness, about living with it, dealing with family members with chronic illness, um, life in general. Because for us, for people who are healthy, they take for granted a lot of things that we don't. Like I'm thankful every time I get out of the bed in the morning. I'm thankful every time I can feed myself. I'm thankful for a lot of things. When I can put my arms around my daughter and hug and kiss her, and you know, it's strange because my daughter is very, very clingy to me, which I don't mind because I'm the same way with her. Like we're really, really tight because when I got better enough where I could hold her, that's what I did. I hold her. I loved her. I explained. She knew the whole time that mommy's sick. So, I mean, in a way, she never took for granted. She was like, I remember when she was like about 7 years old, and I couldn't grasp the fork and the spoon because of the pain in my hand. My daughter would feed me. Seriously, she would feed me. And for her, her helping her mommy, that's normal. Because that's how it's always been. And so, whenever I can do anything for her, I do it. She wants something, I try to get it for her because she deserves it. And she is such a sweet little girl. She's 16. She wants to be a nurse. I praise God for that. She would make a wonderful nurse. And if she decides, I said, you can be a nurse. And she said, well, I might want to do something else in the medical field. And I always tell her, well, if you want something else, then you can do everything you want to do. If you want to be a nurse, you can be a nurse, and then you can work as a nurse, go to school for something else, and then get your degree for that. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, because in my life, I had a lot of different things that I did. Like, I was a paralegal. I worked as a nursing assistant for like a year. I was a computer operator, computer technician. I worked in the medical field, and I in the offices and with the nurses, where we would do they would do the triage online through the phone. So it was like one of those phone centers. I mean, I did a lot of different things, and I'm like one of them kind of person that it's just not one thing I do. I like if it's something I want to learn, I'm gonna learn. There's nothing wrong with learning more than one thing, you know. And it's good in a way because like if I wasn't disabled and I wanted to go for a job, I've done so many things. I can choose. I'm not stuck to just one thing. Also, I used to own a medical billing business, and I used to bill a local doctor, and he had two offices, and I built both of his offices. And I did have other physicians that wanted to use me, but unfortunately, I was the only employee that I had, and I couldn't handle more than just the doctor that I had. And that was during a time when I was getting very sick, so I had to stop. Um, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself and let you know that this channel will be changing not only natural hair, but all around health and trying how to live a healthy lifestyle and how to stay young. Because I think I look good for 42 years old. Even in back at home, when I go to a lot of the restaurants and stuff, they card me. And I'm like, yes. Like, thank you. You made my day. One time I went into the casino and the guy stopped me. He carded me, and then still didn't want to believe it. So he took my license. He didn't want to believe it. So I gave him showed him my credit card. So, I mean, I wouldn't be walking around with once he seen I had a license and a credit card, I just showed it to him. I didn't give it to him, but I showed it to him. And he seen the name on it, and then he was like, okay, you can go in. That always feels good. I think a lot with me is because I never smoked my whole entire life. And, I never really drank except for maybe like a New Year's. So that's like once a year. And I've never ever in my whole life been drunk. I guess there's something about being sick over a toilet and throwing up. It's kind of a turn off. And also being drunk, I just don't see anything fun about it. Drinking and being drunk. To me, that's my personal opinion. You can think what you want, but maybe I'm a prude, I'm a nerd, but that's how I've always been. Um, I'm very family oriented. Most of my time I spend with my family, and I love them, you know. So most things I do is usually with family. And now that I have this husband, and that's another story that I have to talk to you guys about, but not in this video. My husband and I have a condo in Malaysia, and then I live in like the Philadelphia suburbs, and I have a place there. So between the two, like right now I'm in Malaysia, but in a few weeks I'll be back home. But I do have to buy myself a new webcam because right now I'm using my husband's laptop. My laptop just broke. He's supposed to be taking me to go get me a new one. Um, but I prefer a video camera over a laptop. Pictures are better. Well, I'm going to stop this conversation here, and please register. Please rate this video. I know it's not perfect, but I'm trying. rate the video. Also, spread the word, especially to women that's over 35. Uh, that's what really I think they could benefit from my channel, or anyone with a chronic illness, and we'll go from there. And it probably will start making more videos when I get back. I might make one or two here, but when I get back. And there's some other topics I want to discuss too here about here in Asia. If I can find a way to videotape some of the stuff that I see, I'll do that and put that up. All right. You guys take care and have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. Bye.